Hello, friends. Jackie Edwards here, coming to you live from sunny Florida. Now, it's like midday here, so I can't be out in the sunshine, but you can kind of see. Oh, there we go. I'm right on the beach, just beyond the grass there is the beach I visited earlier today. Lovely, but it was a bit stormy this morning, so I didn't get out too early, and then it was too hot. So now I'm just hiding in the shade a bit and enjoying myself. And talking about taking up space. I recently just flew to Florida, and I've seen so many women in, my world and different Facebook groups posting about taking up too much space. And whether that's if you're fat like me and you think, oh, I'm taking up too much space in the airport, at this restaurant, sitting on the bus, sitting wherever, because you feel bigger and you're taking up too much space. Or I've felt like I'm taking up too much space because I laughed too loudly. I have too big of a presence sometimes. I get too excited. I have too much fun. I have too much joy. And I feel like I take up too much space. And so I wanted to talk about how that's fucking okay. I am able to take up as much fucking space as I want to. And I just saw a post, I think in a Facebook group, that a lady was getting ready to fly. And she's fat or plus size or whatever. And she was really worried about taking up too much space in the plane seat and being inconsiderate to the person next to her. I was like, holy shit, you can take up as much space as you want. And being inconsiderate, like, honestly, I think people that sit next to me on the airplane and talk too much and want to talk to me the whole flight are inconsiderate. I think crying children the whole flight on the plane are inconsiderate. I think people coughing and hacking while I'm trying to sleep on the plane is inconsiderate. I think tall people are inconsiderate. Like, holy shit, everybody can be fucking inconsiderate. Really, I'd rather be on the plane all by myself. So why do we spend so much time worrying about ourselves being inconsiderate and ourselves taking up space and thinking that there's something wrong? And honestly, I think that's because we've been conditioned to think that. We've been conditioned by society, by the patriarchy, by whatever culture we're in, and it's usually to kind of keep us small, keep us dependent, and keep us from really understanding our true power and true joy. Because if we were to take up all that space, if we were to be brave, if we were to be confident, if we were to be fully ourselves, then there's nothing that can hold us back. There's nothing that can stop us. The only thing that can hold us back is ourselves. When we think we're too much, when we think we're wrong, when we're doing it wrong, when we're not being good enough, when we're not being perfect, when we're too much, too loud. Oftentimes, when we're thinking we're not enough, basically there's never a happy medium. And we've been taught to think that because if we think, God, I'm fucking awesome, then who's going to stop us from just fucking going crazy and ruling the world? Like, why would we need all these politicians? Why would we need somebody else telling us what to do? If we all truly felt that we were good and enough, then we wouldn't need somebody else to tell us. We wouldn't need all these arbitrary rules to follow. And then how would those powerful people keep their power? Because that kind of patriarchal power is the power over. It's kind of the typical masculine power. It's like the power over people. So they need to have people below them. So they have to teach everybody to be smaller, that they're not good enough, that they're too much, to always be second guessing ourselves, because they have to teach us to hold ourselves back so that they can stay in power. So who the fuck cares if you take up too much space, if you inconsiderately overlap the space next to you, if you talk too loudly, have too much fun, make fucking mistakes? You are fabulous just as you are. And the more you really connect with that, the more you really connect with what you want, who you truly are. It doesn't going to turn you into like a bad person. Like if I think I'm not going to worry about being inconsiderate anymore, It's not going to immediately make me go out and like start knocking people down and like pushing to the front of the line and like being mean. It's just going to make me live my life on my own terms. Because honestly, all of us, especially if you're listening here, are like inherently good, kind people. We're not going to be purposely trying to like take over the world and be mean to people. Even if we tell ourselves that we are good people. Even if we tell ourselves that we don't have to care what other people think. We don't have to be considerate every single moment of somebody else's feelings. Because we have no control over somebody else's feelings. Like, I could sit on that airplane and the person next to me could think I'm inconsiderate because I'm bigger and I'm taking up too much space. Or they might not. But whatever they think is not my problem. And even if I worry about it, I think, oh my God, I have to try to take up as little space as possible and try to shrink myself down and make sure I lean over and not use the armrest at all. That person could still think I'm inconsiderate. That person could just hate me, not because I'm fat, but just because they don't want to be on the airplane with other people. We don't know what is going on in that person's head, and we can't control it at all. The only thing that we can control is how we think, how we feel. And spending all of our time worrying about other people is wasted time. So focus on you. What do you want? How do you want to feel next time you fly? Do you want to feel relaxed? Do you want to feel excited? Do you want to feel, I don't know. I just want to feel fucking done because flying isn't my favorite thing and I just want it to be over because I don't really like all the people. But I can feel any way I want, no matter who's around me. No matter what's happening, I get to choose what I feel and what I think. And I get to decide if I'm too much or not. And really connecting into that and really allowing myself to be whoever I am authentically opens me up to not judging other people for who they are authentically. Because when we judge other people, it's usually because there's something in us that's jealous or feels bad because we're holding ourselves back some way. Or we're telling ourselves that's wrong in us, so we judge it in other people. So we tell ourselves it's wrong to be fat, so we judge other people for being fat. We tell ourselves it's wrong to be too loud at the office. So we keep ourselves quiet, hold ourselves back, and then get angry if somebody else is loud, because how is it fair that they get to be noisy and I don't? How is it fair that me, as a fat woman, gets to enjoy my life and have a fucking fabulous time when they don't because they're always on a diet and they're always holding themselves back to fit into some standard ideal of beauty? So they hate on me because they can't have that same level of authentic freedom because they're listening to those people outside of them, telling them that you're not good enough, that you have to be thin, that you have to be on a diet, that you have to do these certain things, that you have to look differently. So when God, we all do it. When we believe all of those messages and hold ourselves back, then we judge everybody else for it as well. And we can't find that true connection. So it all comes back to the more I love myself and let myself be my true aligned self, the more I can love everyone else and really feel connected to them, no matter what they do and no matter who they are. Because if I love myself, I understand I'm human. I make mistakes. I fuck shit up all the time. I'm not perfect. But I still love myself. And I still trust myself. And I'm still aligned fully with who I am. And if I'm fully aligned and loving myself, even though I make mistakes, well, of course I can love the person next to me, even though they've made a mistake, even though they don't do things exactly how I want to do them. But if I don't truly love myself, and I'm holding myself back, and I see somebody else, then I put all that judgment on them. Put all that anger, all that hurt that I put on myself comes out at other people. So fuck being inconsiderate. Fuck taking up too much space. You be you. And that sounds easy. Well, maybe it doesn't sound easy because it's not. Because we've got so much social conditioning in there, years and years and centuries, teaching us to hold ourselves back, that we have to rewire. So it doesn't happen instantly. I can tell myself, screw what other people think, over and over and over again, and it's going to feel uncomfortable every single time. It gets more and more marginally comfortable the more I do it, the more I live into it. But it takes time to unwind all those little neural pathways, all of that social conditioning. But I can practice every single day. I can watch out for where I'm holding myself back, where I'm telling myself I'm not good enough, where I'm repeating those stories I've told and be like, do I want to believe that? Just because my brain tells me that thought doesn't mean it's true. Is that something I want to believe? Is that something that's helping me? Does me believing that I take up too much space because I'm fat, is that a helpful thought? Probably not. It kind of makes me feel shitty. So what can I do that's a helpful, better thought? How can I start to catch those thoughts early on and reroute and start thinking, even just normal, I am human. I am me. I am authentic. I am aligned. And start building up from there. All right. I'm going to go back. I'm actually going to go inside, back in the air conditioning, because it's too hot in here in Florida for me. And yeah, I will do my best. Hop on here tomorrow. I'm hoping to wake up early, so maybe I will come to you live from
So
the
it might
beach
be hit or
tomorrow
miss
and show you
when I'm
around.
coming
All
on
right,
live
have
for the
a
next couple of
wonderful
days.
day.
But when I
I'll see you
do, I
tomorrow.
will be in Florida. I'll try to show you
Hop
the
on here
beach
tomorrow.
around my
I'm hoping to
little
wake up
beach house I've
early, so
rented.
maybe I will
And
come to you
otherwise,
live
have a
from the
fabulous
beach
time.
tomorrow and show
Oh,
you
I'm so
around.
excited about my hair.
All right, have
And
a
I will
wonderful
see you
day.
next time.
I'll see you tomorrow.